Black gloves are on, so you already know what time it is. It's Wear Your Sneakers Friday. Let's do it. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, and this is Retro Heat Check. Checking in one more time for the real hoop heads out there. And as always, thank you all for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, your comments, and of course those questions. Continue to bring those questions on. These last few weeks have been great as far as Q&A with Skinny each and every Wednesday. These last few weeks have been amazing. You guys have really brought it with the questions, really challenging questions, really entertaining questions. I keep saying, man, outside of connecting with me in the comment section, Q&A on Wednesday nights is probably the best way that we can communicate and talk, debate, answer your questions. Man, ask me just about anything, man, from sneakers to old school hoops to new school hoops. Best games, top tens, whatever. I mean, that's what it's there for. And I hope that you guys take advantage of it, and you guys have. So continue the good work. Tip of the hat to you all. You already know, man. Continue to keep those questions coming, man. And also, thank you guys once again for checking out the Be Like Mike series. I've been working on that for the past 2 weeks. We had 6 episodes. Make sure you guys check out the videos. I hope that you guys do. Check them out. Let me know about them. Give me your feedback on them. I want to do more series. Eventually, I want to step up the channel. Eventually start doing reactions and stuff like that, but just gotta be patient. But for the time being, I want to do some series. I want to do, right now, we're also doing the series right now today on Wear Your Sneaker Friday. We've been working on these last few weeks, basically the MJ's weapon of choice in the regular season. And eventually I want to do MJ's weapon of choice in the playoffs. So, I'm just working on multiple things. Want to keep the channel interesting, especially right now that we're in the off season. We definitely want to keep things fresh. We definitely want to keep things live here in the channel. And hopefully you guys are down with it. Let me know exactly what you guys may want to talk about. You can always bring your suggestions for channel ideas and all that. It's your channel just as much as it is mine. So, hey, continue to interact with me. And like I said, check out the Be Like Mike series, only right here at Retro Heat Check. Appreciate you guys in advance. We gotta give a big shout out now to the squad. You already know what it is, man. These are my guys. These are guys that I'm in the paint with. 10 toes down. We're up against it all, from Clutch Sports to ESPN to the NBA to LeBron James to other former players, current players, and especially the plethora of LeBron fans and the fanboys out here all over. But you already know how it is within the walls of the Hoophead Haven. The fanboys get checked immediately, nameless, faceless. They get no run here in this channel. If you ever see one and they getting out of line, you have all the freedom in the world to get rid of them. Get them out of here, get them out the paint, let them know exactly where you stand. They get no respect here. They don't get no love. So you already know what it is. But big shout outs to the squad, man. These are my guys, man. Got to give a shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncommon Sense, Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports TV, my twin, Phenomenal Fitness, Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best, NMB Sports TV, Geechee Life Sports Talk, Kobe Bryant Film Room, Prince Sports, Man Down Sports, Ticket TV, Shekel Storm NBA, The Real Mind Crime, NBA Fact Self Research, and the Allen Ricks. Oh yeah, can't forget my guy, Jordan versus LeBron. Definitely check him out, man. He's been on fire the last few days. But yeah, definitely check him out. Definitely check him out. Oh yeah, gotta give a shout out to Uncut Hoops and Angry O Hoops as well. They've been cooking as well. So definitely give all these guys a shout out, man. These guys are guys that I support. They support me. Hey, we're all one big community. We all definitely come from different walks of life. We have different approaches to our content. Different content matter, whatever. Sometimes, hey, we even have debates and disagreements amongst each other. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We're all fighting the same fight. So, you know what I'm saying? That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. You know, it's about creating a community. It's about telling the truth, man. When you're armed with the facts, it doesn't matter about the narratives or rhetoric that they spit at you. It doesn't even matter. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely check them out. Give them a chance. Tell them Skinny sent you. You already know the vibes, man. You already know the vibes. Well, you already know what it is, man. Another closed meeting. So the doors are closed to Hoophead Haven. Hey, let's get down to it, man. These last few weeks, we've been doing weapons of the regular season. MJ's weapons of the regular season. And today, we're definitely going to be talking about another regular season weapon of choice of Michael Jordan's. And we're going to take you all the way back to the 1991-1992 season. This is the season of Michael Jordan's second championship. I mean, you already know, man, he just came. I mean, yeah, his second championship. So basically going into the 91-92 season, Michael Jordan finally reaches the mountaintop. He's on top. He's on fire. He's just quickly establishing himself as basically he solidified himself as the best player in the world, bar none. There's no more whispers behind his back saying, you know, he's a great player, but he's not a championship. He's not a championship winner. He's not a winner. He can't lead a team to the championship. Blah 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 blah. But going into that season, the Air Jordan 6s were definitely flying off the shelves. Definitely a sneaker that defied the 90s. That definitely defined the 90s as far as sneaker design. Tinker Hatfield was in his bag. So many people thought, like, dang, what can Tinker Hatfield do? What can he do? What could he do more to top these sixes? Because the sixes was just, to me, I think that the sixes are the perfect 90s sneaker. I think that the sixes definitely encapsulated the 90s right then and there. Just that whole silhouette just screams 90s. But hey, Tinker Hatfield, being the ingenuitive person that he is, and always seeking the next best thing, always seeking what's next, always seeking what's the next technology, what's the next step up. Hey, and he stepped up in a major way, and he definitely stepped up with these bad boys right here. The Air Jordan 7 Cardinal. Now this shoe right here debuted in November of 1991. This shoe happens to be, I would have to say, the weapon of choice of the regular season in the 91-92 season up until the All-Star break, when Jordan finally swapped these out for the Raptors. He wore the Raptors from All-Star break all the way throughout the rest of the regular season, into the playoffs, into the finals. But throughout the first half of the season, he actually was wearing, he was also wearing the hair Jordan, basically the white, gray and red Air Jordans, the ones that Bugs Bunny wore in the commercial. We'll get into that in a second. But this shoe right here is basically inspired by Tinker Hatfield, basically walking basically walking past an art store. He was, searching for, the next idea, and he wanted to have something that was a little bit more on the cultural side of Michael Jordan's personality. He wanted to, kind of, touch base with Michael Jordan's cultural reach. And with the Air Jordan 7, he happened to be walking past an art shop, and he saw some African art a poster of African art in the window. Tinker wanted to buy the poster from the proprietor. The proprietor at first said no, but Tinker, kind of flexed on him, let him know, like, hey, man, I'm Tinker Hatfield. I'm the chief designer of the Air Jordans, and definitely this poster is inspiring me to create the new Air Jordans. So the guy relented, finally sold the poster for 15 bucks. Hey, and the rest is history. Turn around, he comes out with this masterpiece right here. Now, on the other models, what separates the Cardinal from the other models of the Air Jordan 7, it was mainly on the tongue, because on the tongue it has a lot of that West African art that I was just telling you about. If you can see on the bottoms, you can see, if you look at the bottom, you can see all the, the different triangles and, and all that. That was basically the design that was on the hares, the hares and the raptors. Now the Olympic ones did not have the African. Did they have the African design on the tongue? No, they did not. It did not have the African design on the tongue, and neither did the Cardinals. These were the ones that did not. Whereas the Olympic ones had a little bit more color. These right here were very, very understated, very, very subtle. A very, very subtle sneaker. As far as, like, it didn't have all the design and flash like the hares or the raptors later on in that season, but you could still see how clean of a sneaker it was. It was definitely a very subtle yet funky sneaker at the same time. The main thing that you notice about the sneaker outside of the tongue and outside of the all white was just the colors in itself, because they were non-traditional Bulls colors. Michael Jordan was Tinker Hatfield and Michael Jordan were starting to experiment with other colors as far as on the court and off the court, starting with the Air Jordan 5 when they went with the aqua and purple colorway. That was more of an off-court color for MJ for the 5s. And then with the 6s, they had the carmine color. That was a different color of red for the regular season. And it definitely continued with the Cardinal, where he added hints of Cardinal red and chutney. This color right here is considered chutney. It's not gold. A lot of people want to call it gold. It's not gold. It's chutney. Chutney is a color that Tinker Hatfield would also use in the Air Jordan 14s, the Air Jordan 14, the Air Jordan 16, and the Air Jordan 20, which come to my mind off the top of my head. Very, very, like I said, very, very understated. Really, the only real flashy part of these was the back. Actually, the back heel was supposed to say Nike Air on the back, but Tinker decided to do something different and scrap the Air Jordan, the Air Jordan, the Air Jordan print on the back. Basically, he said, no, we're going to do something different. He ended up creating this rubber West African tribal design with the number 23 on the inside. Definitely a nice touch. As a matter of fact, a couple years ago, probably like 2 years ago, Tinker Hatfield's original design for the Air Jordan 7 was actually released. It actually had the Nike Air on the back, had like the African tribal stuff on the side, because it was supposed to have been more in your face with the African tribal designs. And Michael had wanted a more subdued sneaker. That's what won out. He wanted the shoe to be, still giving props to African art and African culture, but he didn't want it to be so in your face. He wanted the shoe to still be sleek and stylish, but not too over the top. But definitely a super clean sneaker. The main feature of the Air Jordan 7 is the Huarache technology that you can see on the inside of the shoe. You see this little booty on the inside. Because as you all know, Tinker Hatfield is the creator. As you can see, the little booty on the inside. As you can see, Tinker Hatfield was the father and creator of Huarache technology, so it was only right and only fitting that he actually put Huarache technology within the Air Jordan 7. The Huaraches were definitely popularized by the Fab Five their freshman year, and Tinker was like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Let's make an improvements on it. Let's put him on the Air Jordan, and the rest was history. Tinker Hatfield definitely was in his bag. As you can see, he made a continuation from the Air Jordan 6 using this Air Jordan font style. This was the font style for the Air Jordan 6 and the Air Jordan 7. This was just a slight, basically just a slight continuation. Kind of, if you kind of look at the 7, it kind of has some subtle hints that continue on from the 6, but it's kind of just like an evolution, kind of representing an evolution of the of the sneaker. Definitely a flawless execution. Michael Jordan wore these majority of the, like I was saying, majority of the regular season. He made plenty of dope plays in these sneakers. I come to think of the game winner 3 that he hit versus Detroit, where he basically caught the ball, did a little hesitation, got loose, hit the 3, runs off the court, hands up. You see the Detroit guys just standing off to the side, just looking like, just looking dumbfounded as Michael Jordan is running down to the infamous, running down through the famous Chicago Stadium, heading downstairs, down the stairs into the locker room. Yeah, it was definitely what just one of many dope moments that Michael Jordan had in these sneakers. Michael Jordan was definitely on a tear. Another All-Star, another scoring title, another first team All Defense. Um, I want to, was 92 his MVP year? Yes, 92 MVP year. I mean, Michael Jordan was definitely on a run, and these shoes right here were definitely a part of it. This is actually my favorite. These are actually my favorite of the Air Jordan 7s. These are actually the ones that I prefer. I like the Raptors. The hairs are cool, and so are the Olympics. But I definitely have to say the Cardinals are my favorite, my personal favorite of the Air Jordan 7s. These are actually the 2011 retro of the 7s, of the Cardinal 7s. As you can see, my box right here is just torn to shreds. I mean, just beat up. I mean, this is how long I've had these sneakers, but for these sneakers to still look good, I'd rather sacrifice the box and make the box look beat up as long as my sneakers look good. So this is a shoe that should be in your collection. These just dropped. They just retroed again in I want to say 2022. Yes, 2022. These are retroed. Actually, I was very, very, very surprised that a lot of pairs of these were sitting on shelves. So many people were sleeping on these. This right here, not trying to sell you any sneakers or anything like that. So when I say these things, I'm not trying to like have you make a mad dash to get some sneakers, but because I know, you know, for some people they're not trying to spend $200 on a pair of shoes, and I understand. But for those who are into sneaker collecting, this is definitely a shoe that you want to have in your arsenal. This is a historic shoe. This is a shoe that is very important to the Air Jordan line. This is a shoe that's very important to the story of Michael Jordan, because these were basically the main shoe that he wore in the regular season of the 1992 season. Like I said, he did wear the hairs, but he actually preferred the Cardinals more than any of the other colorways um, throughout the '92 season. The Raptors was cool. I'm sure he liked the Raptors and everything, but you could tell that the Cardinals was his shoe because he actually wore these the most. But and that I think that's probably why I like these the most. Probably that is why the Cardinal is my favorite Air Jordan 7 is mainly because Michael Jordan wore these the most. Um, I mean, it's pop cultural references and relevance is mainly due to the collaboration with Bugs Bunny. Nike and Jordan decided to move away from the Mars Blackman commercials from the Air Jordans 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's basically 4 year campaign. So they decided to take a different approach and use their connections with Warner Brothers and tabbed Bugs Bunny. You had the Hair Jordan campaigns that went not only through the sixes, but also not the sixes, but not only the sevens, but also to the eights as well. The sevens and eights was pretty much the Air Jordan collab commercials. But definitely when the first time that you saw the commercial of Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan together, the whole animation versus live action, just that contrast alone was definitely a cool touch. It immediately spawned a resurgence in Warner Brother in Warner Brother cartoons, in particular Looney Tunes paraphernalia. You started to see a lot of, if you guys were a kid growing up, if you grew up in the '90s, if you were a kid or a teenager growing up in the '90s, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you saw the Bugs Bunny, Taz, Daffy Duck, all the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes characters dressed up like Criss Cross, dressed up real hip hop. It was thanks to the Air Jordan Bugs Bunny collaboration. It definitely respawned a craze of Looney Tunes paraphernalia. I mean, I had T-shirts. I had a hoodie with all the characters on it, dressed up like they're ready to hoop, dressed up like they're crisscross, dressed up real hip hop. That was the motif at the time in the '90s. Thanks to the Air Jordan, that was the cultural reference and relevance of this sneaker. Also, actually, when these shoes dropped, I mean, thanks to that commercial, the lines were flooded. So many people just loved how crisp and how clean and how sleek they looked on your feet. They just looked very good. You can also go back to episodes of Seinfeld. Jerry would wear these in particular. Um, this was like, I guess you could say that this was Jerry Seinfeld. If you were into Seinfeld and watched that show, you would know that Jerry Seinfeld wore I would have to say Jerry Seinfeld and Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, those three, and it just so happened to be that they were all comedians with very popular TV shows. You could always look at their feet and you could see that they always was rocking some J's. Will Smith wore these in a few episodes. Martin wore these in a couple of his episodes. I mean, this was a shoe that had a lot of juice in the pop culture realm. I definitely remember a classic photo of, I have to go find it, of Ghostface and Raekwon, and I want to say Raekwon was wearing a pair of these. They were standing by some Mercedes and stuff like that. So this was a sneaker that definitely made its rounds throughout, not just hip hop, but pop culture as well. This is definitely a shoe that had its place in the year 1992. This was definitely the shoe of the year, the Air Jordan 7. Um, Basically, this was a shoe that combines many different styles, many different cultures, mainly the West African culture. But these one were definitely the more toned down of all of the sneakers, of all of the Air Jordan 7s. These were the most subtle, the most toned down, and I think that's the reason why MJ preferred these as well as as I. But yeah, definitely a sneaker that that I personally love. These are in my personal top 10. Just because of just how clean they are. I mean, just everything about the shoe just screams clean. I can throw these on. I can throw these on. I usually wear my throwback Philadelphia Phillies maroon hat. Usually pop that on, or sometimes I even wear this hat. Sometimes when I rock these. So I mean, I just love to just put on this with a black hoodie or whatever, some black sweats, put these on, and I just go about my day. And these I usually get comments like, man, I remember wearing those as a kid. I remember wanting these as a kid. This was a shoe that I definitely wanted as a child, and I ended up getting them much later on in life. um, I, I was not fortunate enough as an elementary school kid to get the Air Jordans, that the Air Jordan 7s. So yeah, my mom was not spending, because I know when they dropped they were probably about 125, I believe. So for my size they had to have been like 89.99, and my mom was not coming off of that. Not yet. She didn't break down yet and start getting me the cool sneakers. I think I had to wait another year before she finally relented and finally got me a pair of Air Raids. So I might have to tell you that story another time. But but yeah, definitely this is a shoe that is one of my personal favorites. I love this shoe. As you can see, I kept this shoe in great shape because I want to hold on to these shoes. If you take care of your shoes take care of you. This shoe retroed, this exact shoe retroed in 2011, and you can tell that it's a 2011, mainly due to the laces. On the fronts of the laces, you can see the little inlets. And if you could, I don't know if you could, if I can zoom in or out, probably won't be able to see them. But there is a jump man in the design of the. I don't know if you can see it. Probably won't be able to, but this is a jump man right here in the laces. The other retros, the ones that dropped in 2022, they were more closer to the 1992 design. As a matter of fact, right here at the top of the shoe, actually the OGs are a little bit higher. The 2011s, they kind of streamlined them and cut them down. I don't know exactly what was going on with Jordan Brand back then, but a lot of the cut designs were a lot shorter when it comes to retros throughout the middle 2010s with Jordan Brand. Jordan Brand was kind of going through a phase where some shoes hit and some shoes were not hitting. And definitely I had definitely had to get these because these were one of the few retros that actually looked as close to true to the OG as possible. Definitely like I said, I definitely wanted to hang on to these. I could have got the 2022s, but I was like, well, since I got these in such great shape and they're still holding on, still holding strong, uh, I was like, I can skip out on those. I can skip out on those. So, but yeah, definitely a shoe that I love, one of my personal favorites. Don't mind the box. Sorry, the box has been beat the God knows what. You already know. But yeah, this is a sneaker that I definitely vibe with. I definitely love rocking. It's a shoe that's a head turner, has its place in history, a huge place in history. You can't tell the story of Air Jordans without the Air Jordan 7. They tell the story of his second championship season. Hey, and I implore you, if you don't have a pair of them and you want a pair of them, go get them, because the 2022 versions you can still find online. A lot of pairs of these were sitting in stores. Surprisingly, so many people slept on these, probably because of the subtleness and they're not as flashy as, say, like the Olympics. They're not as they're not as the crowd pleaser. A lot of people love the Raptors. The Raptors are pretty much the crowd favorite. I like the Raptors. The Raptors are cool. The Raptors are a dope shoe, but me personally, I prefer the Cardinals. But yeah, definitely a shoe that definitely defied the 90s. Tinker Hatfield once again was spot on in execution. He came through with the Hirachi technology. He came through with the West African tribal art in the design. He kept it true. He kept it true to true to form. Hey, as always, Tinker Hatfield, you know, hats off to you, the GOAT designer, the greatest designer of all time when it comes to the sneakers, man. And once again, man, came out with another masterpiece, the Air Jordan 7, in particular, the Air Jordan 7 Cardinal. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. As you already know, man, we're gonna you know what I'm saying, close this down. You already know it's Friday, it's the weekend. We made it. Yesterday was July 4th, so I know a lot of you guys had the day off today. Your boy didn't. He had to go back into the office for a few hours, take care of a few things, then head on out. Took a nice little nap, and then jumped on here and dropped this for you guys. But I want you guys to enjoy your weekends. You know what I'm saying? Have fun, be careful, be safe, be responsible. Love on them babies, love on your loved ones. You already know what it is. Tomorrow is definitely not promised. A clear head and good intentions in your heart, you will definitely go far. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves. You know, be respectful, be responsible. And we'll reconvene this whole thing again Monday. And we'll figure out what we're going to talk about. I have a few ideas floating around. And we're going to get right to it. But until then, man, I want you guys to just, you know, take care of yourselves and each other. And with that being said, man, it's your boy, Skinny Hardaway. And this is another episode of Retro Heat Check in the books. And I'll leave you with these words. Peace. And wear your sneakers.